Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to concentrate on the potentially very hot weather we're going to be seeing come the end of this week. It's looking likely we do breach that 30-degree barrier quite widely through England, and Wales could be getting up towards the low to mid-30s. A lot of uncertainty with the exact maximum temperature, but 33 to 35 degrees can't be off the cards. And remember, the June temperature record of 35.6 degrees from 1976 in Southampton could be under threat. Now, I wouldn't say it's got a very high chance of being broken, perhaps a 10 to 20% chance of being broken, because at the moment we're seeing max temperatures in around that 31 to 33 degree mark. We did see some models showing maybe 35 or 36 degrees yesterday, and they are going to fluctuate over the next couple of days as we head up to the peak of these temperatures come Friday and Saturday. So we really do need to keep an eye on this, but regardless of what that peak temperature is, whether it's 32, 33 or 35, 36, it's going to be incredibly hot out there for many areas. We're going to have a look at the live radar, we'll have a look at the UK Met Office run, have a look at what's that showing for precipitation and the temperatures over the next 5 days, and then we'll also have a look at the mid to longer range, looking at what the various models have to say for the next couple of weeks. So, do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. So, if we look at the live radar at the moment, you can see nothing too much is happening over the United Kingdom. We have a few showers across northern parts of England and a few into parts of Scotland as well. Perhaps a little bit of persistent rain into far north of Scotland with a bit of a weather front moving in there, but nothing too crazy, just some more persistent rain with a bit of thicker cloud as well. Further southwards, it's going to be quite a nice day. Temperatures getting into that low 20s mark. Not incredibly hot, as the upper air mass isn't amazingly warm yet, but it's going to be increasing by a good 15 degrees over the next couple of days, as I said, peaking on Friday and Saturday. Now, that very hot air is just to our south at the moment. It is heading up through Iberia, through Spain, and if we do put the temperatures on, you can see the incredibly hot air now building across Morocco, parts of Spain. As I said, that air is heading our way. Now, I'm recording this at around 12:30, so we haven't even reached the peak temperatures of the day yet. But you can see already getting into the high teens, touching on 20 degrees, and it's likely to continue to around 22, 23 degrees today. But you can see already getting up towards the mid to high 30s, if not getting towards 40 degrees over the next couple of days across parts of Spain, Portugal, and then that heading into parts of France as well, on the way towards the UK toward the end of this week. So, if we do now have a look at what is going on from the UK Met Office run, have a look at the precipitation temperature over the next 5 days. Now, you can see the precipitation in parts of northern Scotland, a bit of persistent rain pushing in there, potentially for early hours of tomorrow as well. But elsewhere, it's pretty dry and sunny. Some cloud around, but just pop-up clouds, and doesn't look like anything too exceptional. As we head into Wednesday, still quite dry, some precipitation across the far north of Scotland, so it doesn't look like it's going to be amazingly great there. Bit of cloud and rain around, but as I said, nothing amazingly heavy or too persistent. Through Thursday into Friday, we see a bit of a weather front through the north of Scotland, but that's when we have this very big warm air mass, big plume over parts of central England. You can see some big cumulus clouds building up in that plume. Very warm indeed. And you can see a weather front that is a cold front moving through. It's got much cooler air behind that and very hot, humid air in front of it. Again, we have to keep an eye on what happens with this weather front. With the energy available, we could see some big thunderstorms along it. We're not seeing that at the moment from the UK Met Office run, but it's 5 days away, so things can still change. But it's just looking like quite a squally band of rain there and big temperature contrast, because if we have a look at those upper air temperatures, you can see 21 degrees in the far south of England and around freezing across parts of Scotland and Northern Ireland. A massive 20 plus degree temperature contrast in upper air conditions. That's not surface conditions, upper air conditions, which is truly exceptional for the United Kingdom. We can see that across the globe where we have sort of continental air masses colliding, but for the UK, we have got maritime air masses around us. It truly is exceptional to be seeing a 20 degree temperature contrast over the top of our small islands. But yeah, you can see those temperatures, they do peak on Friday afternoon and widespread will warm. Even areas in Scotland getting towards that 10 degree, 15 degree isotherm, which will mean temperatures there will get up into the mid-20s, but not quite peaking in around that 30 degree range. So still will be very warm, but not quite as hot as elsewhere further southwards. And you can see potentially peaking around that 22, 23 degrees at 850 HPA. And remember, the record for the United Kingdom is around the 25 degree mark. So it's one of the warmest air masses we have ever seen over the top of the UK, coming in the middle of June. So truly, truly exceptional, this air mass coming. Luckily, it's only lasting a day or two. If this was lasting more than a few days, I wouldn't be surprised if we did see that 35, 36 degree barrier be smashed and be on our way to the high 30s, maybe even hitting on the all-time temperature record for the United Kingdom, trying to even potentially break 40 degrees. That would be on the cards if this air mass hung around for a few days, but it is not. So luckily, we're only seeing that sort of low to mid 30s for a day or two. So if we do have a look at those max temperatures, you can see through Monday it is not too bad. Not actually showing anything too great, only 17 to 19 degrees across central southern England. I'd expect it to be a little bit warmer than that, perhaps a bit more cloud forecasted on the UK Met Office run here. So we'll have to see exactly how much cloud does bubble up this afternoon. If we don't see much cloud, could be getting above 20 degrees, but if we see more cloud, high teens. And if we do move into Tuesday, you can see again those temperatures responding with more sunshine. That's what I really expected today, 21 to 23 degrees. A lot more sunshine around, so really quite nice. As we head into Wednesday, those temperatures climbing once again, 25, 26 degrees. We start to see the peripheries of that really hot air mass arriving. And by Thursday, once again, mid-20s, 22 to 26 degrees once again, maybe touching a degree or two warmer. And then Friday, it's really going to peak. You can see it is mid-20s, 25 to 26 degrees by 9 a.m. on Friday. And as we head to Friday afternoon, between 30 to 32 degrees, quite widely across central England. Could even be higher, as I said, getting towards that 33 to 35 degree range, peaking in a few spots. You can't quite see it, but just under the legend here, you can see it's getting up towards 35 degrees, just across the north of France. That is possible across central areas. Cambridge area, London area, that sort of region where we do tend to see our hottest temperatures, we could be seeing that sort of conditions. But widely is looking likely around 28 to 32 degrees. That looks like the widespread temperatures, but locally could be a few degrees warmer than that. And as we head into Saturday, early hours, you can see it's still low 20s, so very muggy sleeping in the London area and East Anglia and South East. Very horrible, but you can see only 5 degrees across parts of Scotland. And as I said, we've got this massive temperature contrast, and that is going to continue into Saturday, slowly sweeping away that hot air, but it could hang around just long enough so the far southeast still sees high 20s, low 30s potentially through Saturday afternoon. Could still be very hot on Saturday for those areas. So if we do now have a look at what the mid to longer range is showing, so we start on the GFS run, see how long this hot spell could last, or where we see it returning at all, because we know it's not going to last, at least initially, beyond sort of Saturday time, but do we see a return to it? And what's happening beyond that? So now you can see the high pressure building to our east, very hot air mass coming up from the south, and then we go see a bit of a cut-off low developing, so it could be quite showery and thundery with that. But it's not a massive low pressure system, so likely to be plenty of dry weather around with that as well. And we do see high pressure build in. But the difference is, instead of the airflow coming from the south, that we're going to have this coming week, it's coming more from a west and northwesterly. So even though it's going to be dry and generally sunny for quite a few areas further southwards and definitely westwards, it's going to be slightly cooler. It's going to be a slight nip to the air. And beyond that, high pressure does stay in control, but low pressure does always just try and push through, being little cut-off lows. If we do run it back and just have a look just briefly at what max temperatures are showing for this Friday, just to keep an eye on it, and we do zoom into the United Kingdom, look at those 850 HPA temperatures. You can see peaking around that 20 degree mark, incredibly hot indeed. And you can see even those upper air temperatures do continue into Saturday afternoon, so GFS definitely has Saturday afternoon being a very hot day as well, especially in the south, getting towards the low 30s once again. And for Friday afternoon, once again, 28 to 30 degrees, so perhaps a degree or two cooler than it was showing yesterday, but showing even hotter temperatures through Saturday. Again, these are the mid to longer range models. They are lower resolution than models like the UK Met Office run, so I do expect them to be a degree or two off, so not too surprised that it's only showing high 20s, touching on 30 degrees, because it likely will be a degree or two warmer than that. So if we do have a look at the GM's run, see how that does compare. Again, high pressure building to our east, and eventually low pressure runs through big high pressure out in the Atlantic, bringing northwesterly flow in. Look at those upper air temperatures. It's not amazingly cold, but it's not amazingly warm either. You can see the temperature deviations. It's slightly above average, but again, that'll be counteracted because the air's coming off the North Atlantic, where it will be a little bit more nippy towards the surface. So still could get towards low 20s, but nothing incredibly hot indeed. If this exact air mass was coming from the south, you would expect mid to high 20s, whereas here I'd say the peak more low 20s, just because of the air direction and where it's coming from. And that's how we end at day 10. It's likely to go into a bit of a northerly flow there with blocking out towards Atlantic and Greenland. So have to keep an eye on that, but nothing too crazy at this stage. If we do run it back and just have a look at those max temperatures through Friday and Saturday, just to compare, of course, we do go to the United Kingdom, have a look at the 2 metre temperatures, and you can see through Friday afternoon, peaking in around that 28 to 31 degree mark, so slightly warmer than the GFS run, but yeah, broadly showing 32 degrees, perhaps in the far southwest of England. That's showing the peak there, very interesting. And into Saturday, showing that hot air getting swept away quite quickly, but still with 31 degrees in Kent and Sussex potentially, so still looking very hot there, and you can see 34 degrees across parts of northern France. So this is why I said if we did see this air mass hang on for more than a couple of days, it's likely that we would be seeing mid-30s very widely, could even get towards 40 degree range if we saw it for a couple more days. Now, if we do have a look at the ECMWF, see how that does compare. Again, high pressure building to our east southerly wind coming up. Low pressure pushing through, slightly unsettled there, but a bit of a westerly flow. But actually, the ECMWF, instead of having that high pressure push further northwards, the centre of that high keeping us drier. It's actually much cooler and more unsettled with low pressure just over our north, and you can see much cooler air mass mixing in. So ECMWF put a bit of a spanner in the works there, showing a broadly similar pattern in terms of wind direction, but has that high pressure a few hundred miles shifted further southwards, which means we're much more unsettled, and yeah, much cooler as well. But if we do concentrate on what's going on over the next few days, because of course that is so far away that it's likely to change still. If we do have a look at those upper air temperatures, you can see well into the 20 degree isotherm range and very hot even into Saturday. You can see massive temperature contrast through Saturday afternoon, and it could be incredibly hot still in the far southeast. And again, if we have a look at those maximum temperatures through Friday afternoon, widespread 28 to 29 degrees, maybe touching on 30 degrees, but again, low resolution models are likely to underdo it a bit. And as we head into Saturday, again, widespread high 20s, low 30s for the far southeast, but only high teens across the Midlands and Northern England. So really sweeping away this hot air very, very quickly indeed. But you can see across parts of France, 35, 36 degrees. And again, if we actually have a look at France, you can see peaking 40 degrees across the far south of France and parts of the southwest as well. So incredibly hot across France. That's going to continue with this air mass hanging around for even longer. You can see incredibly hot there, 25 degree isotherm. That is sort of record level air masses for the UK. So yeah, incredibly hot air mass incoming. So if we do finish the video by just have a look at the ensembles. Now if we have a look at the GFS ensembles, they haven't fully updated yet, but they're out to the 25th of June, so 12 days, which is pretty much the reliable time frame for us. You can see around average for the next day or so, and that's why the temperatures are around that 20 degree mark today, and they increase slowly over the next couple of days towards the mid-20s, and then peaking incredibly hot through Friday and Saturday, getting up towards the high teens, low 20s for upper air conditions. And again, these upper air conditions, you can almost add around 10 to 15 degrees onto them for the max temperature of the day. Get a big drop into the weekend through Saturday and Sunday. Some quite significant precipitation there, so depending on each of the runs, some are showing big shower activity, big thunderstorms, others not so much, so big uncertainty with that still. Again, I think it all depends on how quickly the breakdown does come and the instability associated with it, because it is still 5 days away, so there still can be quite a bit of uncertainty. But in the longer term, you can see the upper air temperatures are around average. Precipitation is there, but nothing too crazy, so it looks, again, a showery, around average sort of regime, where temperatures are back toward the low 20s quite widely, especially across England and Wales, and there's frequent showers around for quite a few. The operational run is quite a warm run, but it's not out of the spectrum really. It's still within sort of the ensemble sort of ensemble frame of ensemble uncertainty really. So nothing too crazy there. So no real immediate heat wave beyond this big plume of hot air. If we do have those 2 meter temperatures, you can see peaking around that 30-degree mark for Friday, and you can see Saturday, massive spread. The operational run going 32 degrees there. Some of the ensemble members going down to 20 degrees. This is why I said still big uncertainty with the exact temperatures through Saturday, before returning to around 20 degrees, 21, 22 degrees for the foreseeable future. If we do have a look at the ECMWF Ensembles, see how those do compare. Again, peaking around that 20-degree mark for Friday and Saturday. Big precipitation spikes when it does break down. Again, we have to keep an eye on what's happening with that. And then generally, upper air temperatures around, slightly below, slightly above average for foreseeable future. Some precipitation around, so looking quite showery. And yeah, we'll just have to see how this does develop. And if we do finally finish up, have a look at the 2 meter temperatures, you can see again, peaking around the high 20s, 30-degree range. And you can see for Saturday, big range. A good sort of 15-degree range on those 2 meter temperatures. Just simply because it's how quickly that air mass does get swept away. So yeah, looking very hot for this end of the week. I must stress though, also an issue will be UV levels. With a lot of sunshine around, it will be very easy to get sunburn out there. 15 to 20 minutes could be sunburn time for people with fair skin. So please do make sure you have sun cream on. Make sure you hydrate very efficiently, and do try and stay out of the sun between around 10 to 4 p.m, especially when it's get up towards the 30-degree range. Yes, you can go out and enjoy it. Make sure you do take regular breaks. And if you are vulnerable to heat conditions, if you are vulnerable to sunburn as well, I would avoid the sun. I would stay out of the sun between 10 and 4 p.m, or at least don't stay in it for too long in those times. So yeah, I don't want to see anyone getting severely sunburnt or sunstroke or anything like that. I know it probably will happen, but if we can try and avoid it, and if we can make sure everyone is aware of the risks, because I know this is coming, it's going to be a very short, sharp spell. People won't be quite prepared for it. Some people probably haven't even bought sun cream for this sort of summer season yet. But the very hot weather is coming. It's coming in the next few days, so please do take the necessary precautions for these conditions. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to stay tuned, because we'll be keeping up to date on these temperatures for the end of the week, whether we will see some very hot weather on Saturday, and what the potential is for thunderstorm activity as well. But I'll see you again for another video soon.